everyone. I'm speaking to Osmond Lund, who is related to me through my great-grandmother. And first I'm going to ask you, Osmond, to tell me about my great-great-grandmother, Brita, who I've never knew anything about before until today as we stand on your island in the middle of a fjord in Norway. Tell us about Brita and her husband.
Brita was a girl who came here to Lund from inside Rogaland here and was married to my great-grandfather in about 1860.
Mm-hmm.
And they got 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest, Rachel Elizabeth, Anna Olena, and Osmond.
And Osmond.
Yeah.
And the 3 of them, you told me, well, they grew up in this house, but then the 3 of the children left for America. And what was the reason that they left for America?
In Norway at that time, it was just poor. They were very poor, yeah.
Yeah.
And so all children, most of the children on these farms went to America.
Mm.
And those 3 went together.
Mm-hmm.
And Olena was married, and Rachel Elizabeth, we don't know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather came back to Norway and married my grandmother.
So Osmond, Olena's brother, came back from America to Norway, and that's why you're here.
Yes, that's why I am here. They, my grandfather Osmond and grandmother Ellen, they got 10 children, who 7 of them lived. And my father is the 3rd of the boys, and the oldest Knud, and Jacob, and Oscar, Lars, and Tollak, the youngest. And there was 3 girls. The oldest Bertha, and there was one called Christine and Signy. Christine died in 1918 from the Spanish sickness.
Your father raised you on this farm, did he?
No, my father built a house at the farm, but not here in the other area.
Mm-hmm.
And there we were 7 children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you came to this farm after your uncle had it?
My uncle had this farm. He was not married and had no children, so I took over the farm after him.
And this farm is 4 acres?
4 acres.
4 acres. So obviously you had to have another job. Tell us about your job as a seaman.
I was a seaman and went to sea in 1960, about 1960, and took all the navigational schools and sailed for 45 years.
45 years,
in same company.
With ferries.
Cargo boats and ferries.
And your brother, how do you say his name?
Odd.
He did similar work?
Yes, he was a sea captain on almost worldwide and in North Sea trade.
And Ellen brought us here today. She doesn't know very much English, and I don't know Norwegian, so we haven't really. We relied on Irene to be able to visit with one another.
Yes.
But she lives on another island, Fennoy Island.
Yeah, she is the oldest of the family, of our sister. The older sister. Yes.
Can I ask you how old you are, Osmond?
I'm 76.
76. Well, you're very fit, and you certainly know the family tree.
Yes, the most of it.
Anything else you want to tell people back in Halstead?
It had been nice to be in there and seen all this area we have heard so much about. Because from my childhood and when we was kids, we got package from America, and and there we got some much funny things, such as, but the best thing we got there was chewing gum.
Oh, chewing gum from America.
Yeah, from America.
And did Olena send that to you for Christmas?
No, that was
Alice?
Alice sent this to us.
Ruthie's grandmother.
Yeah. Alice had a good correspondence with my mother because Alice wrote in Norwegian. And therefore we could understand her.
Well, it's certainly been nice meeting you, and you told me that your children work in the North Sea, some of them.
Yeah, the oldest children, the oldest son, he is a sea pilot. Yes, and the second is a carpenter. He has built that house over there, and we have a girl. Yeah, she is. Yeah, they are living together. They are not married, but they are living together. They have 2 girls. He is working in the North Sea, and she was working at the factory in Stavanger. So they live in Stavanger, but
they commute from the North Sea in a helicopter.
Yes, they are using helicopter too, and in
2 weeks on and 4 weeks off.
Yes.
That is really interesting for the rest of us who don't know anything about the oil work.
The oil work it's very important for the Norwegian public, and there are very many around this area who works in the oil industry. Yeah.
Osmund Lund, it's been awesome being with you today, and thank you for being such a great historian for our family.
Thank you for coming and visiting us. It was very interesting. We have heard very much from our parents, and especially my mother had a very good contact with especially Alice. So, and there have been many visitors from your family here in our place. Olena came back here in 1936 after 50 years in America. And then she came here and visited her brother and then their family.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Og spise, drikke på ditt ord. Deg Gud til ære oss til gagn, så får vi mat i Jesu navn. Amen.
Thank you. I'm here in the Viker Church in Norway with Trond Simmonsrud, our 5th cousin who lives, maybe 90 miles away. It took us about 90 minutes to get here. Tell us, Trond, about this church and the significance to our family.
Yes, this church is a little bit more than 300 years old. It was built in 1702. And it's located in Ådalen and the place Viker. So it's just beside the farm Viker here in Ådalen is the church located. It has been a church here for many years before this church was built. They have found the ruins from an even older church.
Tell us how we're related to you. How are you our 5th cousin?
Yes, it's the person called Nils Hansen Rustan. He was a great grandfather that lived on Viker farm just nearby here. He got many children. I think it was 11 actually, and 3 or 4 of them at least was going to America. And my part of the family is coming from one of his sons called Thor, and he was living back here in Norway at Viker farm.
Mm-hmm.
And your part of the family was from Hans. And I think then Hans got a son called Ole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ole was my great-grandfather who founded the farm by Halstead.
Yes.
Yes, and Ruthie's brother has been farming that land. Well, you've been a wonderful historian for our family, and your family has been wonderful to house us for 2 nights. Tell us about your work, because I think it's so interesting.
Well, I work as project manager for a local company that are building roads all over Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's huge road projects, highways, and so on. And at the moment, I'm building a 4-lane highway up in Trondheim,
Mm-hmm.
it's located in the middle of Norway. So I'm going to be there for 5-6 years to build that road.
5 or 6 years, and it's how expensive of a construction project?
It's about $400 million
In U.S.
US dollars.
U.S. dollars, so that's a huge project.
Mm.
And you are one of the managers and one of the many owners of the company.
Yeah, I'm the top manager for that project.
Well, we're proud of you.
Thank you.
It's good to know you. And thank you for hosting us today.
You're welcome. It's just a pleasure. Lars is my great grandfather, and his children that was not married is also buried at the same place.
Okay, and the next stone, explain that one.
And the next one is that is also that is my grandfather, and my grandmother, and my uncle here. And this is my father's and his uncle. So he's a son of Andreas and Karin. Yeah. He's a brother of Andreas.
Harald Hårfagre.
Yeah, we're really
Maybe
interested
that- yeah, just kind of.
how we're related to the king.
He was born in 850 and died in 933. He was king in Norway for the year from 860, 10 years old, gosh, until the year 933. He had a lot of wives, at least 10, and I think also a lot of children. The queen Ragnhild came from Denmark, died 3 years after she came to Norway. One of his sons called Erik Blodøks. What's in English? The name Erik and
Blood axe.
Blood Axe.
Is that a relative, Eric
Yeah.
Bloodaxe?
That's the son of Harald Hårfagre.
Yes.
Yes, our relatives. Yeah, and it's lots of names, and it doesn't say how many children Harald Hårfagre got, but 10 wives, I think, and a lot of mistresses.
But what
Maybe
we care
100.
about is Eric Bloodaxe.
Yes.
So after Eric Bloodaxe, then what happened?
Erik Blodøks, he was married with Gunhild. She was the daughter of King Garm, and he was from Denmark. Garm, den gamle i Danmark, also Garm, the old in Denmark. And their son was
Gudrød.
Gudrød, but also they have 9 children, and one of the sons called Gudrød.
And so we have
Next one.
it's many sons. It's Gudrød had a son Harald, and Harald had another son Gudrød, and Gudrød had a son Olaf, and so we continue through many hundred years.
No daughters.
No, it's about the sons. It's a lot
Most
of sons. It's many generations here, but we find in that's number 23 in the counting of the people from Harald Hårfagre. It's one Ole Monsen Sørum. He's from Ådalen, which I was telling about before. And his son was Hans Olsen Rustan. Hans Olsen Rustan. He was married with Karen Olsdatter, and their son was Nils Hansen Viker.
All right, our 3 times great grandfather.
Yes.
2 times, wasn't it?
2 times.
2 times.
I think
Yes,
it will be
2 times grandfather.
Okay. Well, and that we share. And we share him, so
Yeah.
all of us can say that we are of royalty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amen.